Are we live? Oh, we're live. We're live. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Doodle Club. We are on day 5 of Doodle Club during this Corona season. So what we have done so far, Doodle Club 1, we did Stickmen, and we tell you stories, and then you doodle while I tell you a story, and then we look at each other's doodles, get some inspiration, and I tell you the story again. You carry on doodling. So recap of what we've done so far. Doodle Club 1, we looked at Stickmen, and then Doodle Club 2, we looked at landscapes with lines. Doodle Club 3, we looked at using lines to do movement in our doodles. And Doodle Club 4, you can see the number 4 in his earring. You've got faces, different eyes and mouths to change the expression of your stickman. And Doodle Club 5, we're going to look at symbols. Like, let me show you. Before I show you, I'm going to draw it for you. Let's look at Dude. Today, Dude is going to be all about symbols. So, Doodle, Club. And today we'll do exclamation, question mark, and then we'll give Doodle his face. So he's looking a bit crazy today. And then we've got hashtag 5. So today, one of the little tips I want to give you is, in Doodle Club, we're all about how can you doodle to help yourself with school notes. And doodling is different from drawing because I'm getting you to doodle quite fast while you're listening, and that's not easy to do. And do you know what? If you're watching this and you've never seen Bullet Map Academy before, here, a lot of the children who are drawing here are actually dyslexic, and they're actually drawing pretty quick and so on, but not everyone draws or writes quickly. I don't write or draw quickly. And the goal here is not to do beautiful drawings, but to do doodles that help you listen, doodles that help you understand. And that can be different for different people. So don't be in a rush. Even if you spent the whole thing just doing one shape, you know, and you just sort of did a shape, or you colored in and you did dots or wiggles or doodles, you know. And sometimes when you're just doing little patterns or whatever, it can help you just think. It can help you listen. And that's what I'm giving you a chance to do right here, right now, just to listen to a story and doodle. Now, some of the little things that you can do that are quick and helpful are to use symbols. So sometimes it's quite good fun to put an exclamation mark into your doodle. Or what about some of the children did Z's for sleeping, didn't they? And you can even put symbols inside of triangles for like a warning, okay? I do this kind of symbol. Now this is a bit more advanced symbol. This is called a therefore symbol. I use this in my notes quite a lot, which is someone says something and then you think therefore something else. There's therefore or colons, all sorts of different symbols you can use that are quite fun. So that's the tip for today. Are you ready for your story? Thumbs up if you're ready for your story. Great, I can see lots of thumbs up. Thank you very much. Let's get ready for our story. Now remember, don't rush. This is all about learning to listen and doodle at the same time. Please don't rush. I know one of the students feels a bit shy coming into our group here because they don't think their doodles are as good as everyone else's. And you know what? I don't think my doodles would be as good as you guys at your age, at my age, if I was your age. So I really don't want you to be too hung up on how good your doodles look. It's all about Is it working for you? And if you're watching this on YouTube Live, is it working for you? Is it helping you listen? Is it helping you understand the story? That's the only important thing, not how pretty it is. And it doesn't even matter if no one else understands your picture at all. It's all about what's good for you. Now, here's the story. A long, long time ago, there was a man called Jerome, Saint Jerome. In fact, he was a monk and he lived in a monastery in the middle of a desert. And he used to teach other young monks. Now, one day while they were all studying in the room together, a lion came into the monastery's courtyard and it paced into the courtyard, and the young monks saw the lion coming in. Now, in those days, there were lions out in the desert lions, wild ones, and they were a real threat. Well, they all ran out of the room, but Saint Jerome didn't. Saint Jerome opened the door and walked towards the lion. Well, everyone was scared that Jerome would be mauled by this lion, but the lion stopped, and Jerome went up to the lion and could see that its paw was wounded. And Jerome told the other monks to come and bring some water and soap so they could wash the lion's feet. And so they washed the lion's paw. The lion growled, but Saint Jerome kept going, because in their monastery, they looked after people who were sick, including animals in this case. And so St. Jerome could see that this lion was in pain. And so he lifted up the paw and he could see that there were some very long thorns embedded deep into the lion's paws, between the paws. And he pulled out those thorns, which the lion couldn't pull out. And the lion, did another growl and roar, but then it settled down and it was so happy. Now, from that day on, that lion was completely loyal to St. Jerome. And the lion would follow Jerome everywhere. He would even walk with Jerome into the dining room where they all ate. Jerome had no fear of this lion, but the others still were scared of this lion. And Jerome really loved the lion and had him as a pet in the monastery. Well, one day, Jerome looked at the lion and said, "Lion, you need a job. Everyone in this monastery has a job except for you." And so some of them went out and they made foods, they grew foods, they brewed beer, they made things, they did all sorts of things in this monastery to keep life going. Now, one of the jobs he decided to give him a job was to keep guard of all the people who needed to go out of the monastery into the desert. Now, one of his jobs was to guard the donkey. They had a donkey that they used to carry wood, but they couldn't feed the donkey with the grass inside of the monastery, so the donkey had to go out into the hills and find its own grass and eat the grass, and a monk would have to go out with the donkey to keep it safe. But Jerome said, if you go with the donkey, then the donkey will be safe and one of the men can come and work in the monastery, in the gardens, because the lion couldn't do any gardening. So that's what the lion was taught to do. And every day the lion would take the donkey out and the donkey would eat, and the lion became the bodyguard of the donkey. But one day the lion fell asleep. Now, lions do like to sleep. And when he woke up, the donkey was gone. What had happened was some merchants had gone by, saw the donkey on the hill, saw that no one was guarding him, and they stole the donkey and took him away. Well, the lion raced around everywhere to try and find the donkey, and he realized he had fallen asleep and let the donkey down and let the monastery down and let St. Jerome down. So he walked back to the monastery and he would not come into the monastery. He stood outside while he lay down with his tail between his legs and looked very, very ashamed. And all the monks came out to see the sight, and they said, "He must have eaten the donkey." Well, the lion couldn't tell them the story. They were all furious at the lion and they wanted to send them away. Some even wanted to kill him. But St. Jerome said no, he believed in redemption. And so he said, no, we're not going to do that to the lion. Since the lion has let us down, he's going to make up for this, and he's going to do the donkey's job from now on. Now, the donkey had to put heavy things on his back and carry them at all sorts of places. And so the lion was given the donkey's job, and he had to have all the wood put on him and all the other things. And the proud lion was humble enough and meek enough to say, okay, and he did the job. Well, one day, a month or so later, the lion was out carrying his wood stack with one of the monks, when he saw in the distance a line of camels. And at the front of the line of camels, there was a donkey. Now, it was tradition in those days, if you had a line of camels, because merchants would put heavy things on the camels. They were like trucks of those days to carry things around. They would put a donkey at the front to lead them on the way. Well, the lion recognized the donkey in the distance, and he ran to find his friend, and he raced towards his friend, and he roared with joy, and there was the donkey, and the donkey was happy too, and the donkey changed direction and started to walk towards the lion, leading all of the camels. And the merchants who were with the donkey saw this lion racing at them, and they all just ran for their lives and left the camel and the donkey on their own. Well, the lion greeted the donkey, and the lion had this wonderful reunion, and the lion brought the donkey back to the monastery. Well, what was attached to the donkey? A camel, and another camel, and another camel. So the donkey brought all of the camel and all of the merchants' wealth on their backs. And so they brought the donkey back, and when he came back, all the monks saw the donkey, recognized the donkey, and they all looked to the lion and they realized their mistake. The lion was embarrassed because he had let them down, not because he had eaten the donkey. And St. Jerome was right to give him space to sort it out. And so the lion and the lamb and the donkey were allowed back into the monastery, and everything was great. But the merchants followed the track, and they came all the way in, and they came to the door, and they were very embarrassed, and they fell on the ground at the feet of St. Jerome and said, "We are so sorry. Hands up. We stole the donkey. It was wrong. We'll make it up for you. We'll give you half of all of our olive oil," because there was olive oil on the backs of all the donkeys, and that was worth a lot of money. St. Jerome said, "No, we won't take half your oil. That's just too much." And they said, "No, we feel so bad. We're so sorry." And in the end, the merchant said, "From now on, every time we go past, we will bring you a year's supply of olive oil." And that's what they did. And that's the story of St. Jerome and the lion. I don't know if it's a true story, but I do like the story, because sometimes we do something wrong and people misunderstand it. They think that we've maybe done something really bad because, etc., like that lion killing the donkey, but he didn't kill the donkey. He closed his eyes and went to sleep. So let's have a look at some of your doodles. Joanna, show me some doodles, please, here. Oh, I like the arrows for the direction of where everything's going. Oh, we've got some Zs for sleeping. I saw that. Well done for including that. Oh, and you've got an exclamation mark beside the line at the top right. Well done for using the symbol too. Who's next? Oh, I love how you do the mane with that jaggedy line. That's very efficient. to do it that way. Lovely. Who's next? Oh, yes. Oh, yes, Ethan. Lots of lions. You can draw them quick. Well done. Who's next? Aha, Josephine. Oh, I can see the camels with the humps. Yes, brilliant. Who's next? And we've done the story circle there. Ada, nice. I like the coloring in. I like the mane all the way around again. Gosh, you guys can draw quick, can't you? Who's next? You're like super fast on the draw. And Jack. Oh, look at that paw with the lines coming out of it and it being sore. I love it. Who's next? Oh, look at the coloring in and the boldness of this. I like the simplicity. Gosh, Henry, that's a very quick drawing. Well done. Very good. I'm impressed. I like the color. Who's next? I think last one, and then we'll go back to the story. Andrew, back to Andrew. Okay. Oh, I like the camel, bag on his back. Nice, great stuff. Keep going. All right, story time again. Now, if you've done the story circle, done the doodles around the circle, draw in the middle and symbolize and summarize everything in the center if you want. If you don't have the space for that, no worries. Start coloring in and keep doodling. Here we go. Second time. Take two. St. Jerome and the lion. Take two. A long time ago, there was a very famous monk called St. Jerome who lived in the desert, and he taught some young monks. And one day in that monastery, a lion paced into the courtyard of the monastery. In those days, there were mountain lions, desert lions, and they were dangerous. Well, all the young monks ran for their lives in the opposite direction, whereas St. Jerome walked straight towards the lion with no fear. And he noticed why the lion had come. The lion was limping ever so slightly on one of his paws. So St. Jerome sent for soap and water to come to wash this lion's paw. And the lion let him wash the paw, although he growled. And he saw that there were thorns stuck in the paw. And he pulled the thorns out, and the lion was at peace. And that lion was so thankful to St. Jerome that he ended up following St. Jerome everywhere and guarded St. Jerome. And he was quite a fierce lion. He would go everywhere St. Jerome went, and he would guard St. Jerome. Well, one day St. Jerome said, "You need a job. Everyone in this monastery has a job. You need one. You can't garden. You can't make beer and wine. You can't fix things. You can't make things, but you are very good at guarding people. So when the donkey goes out of the monastery to find his food on the hill and graze, I want you to go and guard him and be his bodyguard instead of one of our monks guarding him." And so he told the lion, "Guard the donkey with your life." The lion understood, and that's what he did. They went up into the hills, and the donkey would eat the green, lush grass where he found it, and the lion would watch over him. Although the donkey would take a long time to eat, and lions do like to have a little nap. And so he fell asleep on his watch, and the merchants that were going by spotted the donkey and saw no one was guarding him, so they stole the donkey and took him away. The lion woke up, realized what he had done, raced around all over the place to see if the donkey had wandered off, but realized that he had been stolen. And so the lion eventually made his way back to the monastery, and lay outside of the monastery gates, and with his tail between his legs and his head on his paws, as humbly as possible, looking very ashamed for himself. And all the young monks came out and assumed the worst, that the lion had eaten the donkey, because they thought to themselves, well, that's what lions do. And I never trusted that lion in the first place. But St. Jerome saw the lion. And unfortunately, the lion couldn't tell his story, so they couldn't chase after the merchants. So St. Jerome said, right, you've let us down, but you're going to have to put this right. You're going to do the job of the donkey. And so the lion carried the wood, carried the water, carried all the heavy things like he was a donkey. And he did that humbly, day after day after day, accepting the consequences of his neglect. Until one day, he saw in the distance a line of camels. And with his eyes, his sharp eyes, he noticed that the front of the camels was a donkey, but not any old donkey. It was his friend, the donkey he had lost. And he ran with sticks on his back still, ran and raced towards the camels and towards the donkey. And the donkey spotted him, and the donkey recognized him and started to walk towards him. And he led all of the camels towards the donkey. Well, the merchants saw this lion running towards them, and they ran the other direction for their lives. Well, the donkey and the lion had a great reunion, and the donkey followed the lion all the way back to the monastery. And the monks all came out to see this curious sight of the donkey with all of the camels in the courtyard and the lion jumping around so happy like a kitten. And St. Jerome came out and he was so happy. The lion had redeemed himself. He had found the donkey. And they all the young monks admitted they had judged the lion too harshly. Well, all the merchants realized what had happened and that they had actually stolen that donkey back in this area before. And so they walked back to the monastery, followed the trail, came to St. Jerome, fell at his feet and begged for forgiveness and begged if they could put it right somehow. And so they said, we'll give you half of the olive oil that we've got on top of the camels as an apology. And St. Jerome said, that's so much. It was very expensive. And so much, you can't give that to me. That's too much. And they said, no, please let us do this. And he said, no, you can't do that. That's too much. And in the end, he would not allow them to give him all that olive oil. But what they did say was, well, we'll give you what you need, which is only a small amount of olive oil. And every year, every time we go by, we will come and give you olive oil to make up for what we've done. And that's what happened. St. Jerome was wise, firm, and fair with everyone he met, including the lion, who became his loyalist friend, even the second time that Jerome rescued the lion. So that's the story of Jerome and the lion. Let's have a look at some of your doodles, children. Oh, that's lovely, Micah. I love the coloring in. And you use your star stamp as well. Another symbol there. Nice. Who's next? Andrew. I see the central picture. Lion, monastery, camels, Zeds, green grass. You've got bits of it lovely. Oh, and I see it now. The big lion face all the way around it. Very clever. Who's next? Oh, lovely coloring in here. This is great. Well done, Josephine. You did it in pencil and then you built it out from the pencil, I see. Nice, nice. Who's next? Lovely, lovely, fantastic. I like how you've done the ground underneath the line and you've got the hill and so on. Well done. Who's next? And hands up if you would like to tell the story again with your doodle or describe your doodle to us. You're very welcome to do that. So put your hands up if that's you. Ethan, love the coloring in. Really makes it pop. Who's next? Ada, Nikes. Oh, I can see St. Jerome, I think, with the lion and the donkey. Lovely. Who's next? Long time ago. I like that, Jack. That's quite fun. Yes, and you've used the arrows to show the direction. You got that off another chap. Well done. Well done. Ah, the camels. Lovely. Oh, and I see the cactus for the desert. Who's next? Henry. Oh, crazy coloring. Love it. Yes. Love it. Great. Who's next? I think one more and then we'll stop there. I think that might be everyone. Does anyone want to? Actually, I don't think we've got the time. It's 27 past. So next time I'll see you. The next time we do Doodle Club will be Monday at 3 p.m. UK time, 10 a.m. LA time, at New York time, and 7 a.m. LA. Some people even wake up at 7 a.m. But this is recorded live on YouTube and it will stay on YouTube. So if you want to hear any of the stories or go back and look at ones you've missed, you can. And also, please remember to invite your friends. And if you want to know anything more about us, go to bulletmapacademy.com/doodle. You can join the Doodle Club and get emails, and you can find out more about how we teach children to organize their ideas visually. So, well done. See you later. See you Monday. Bye. Okay, children. Oh, yeah, we didn't wave. We didn't wave. We need to wave. Yeah, wave over your pictures. Yeah, well done. Well done. Okay, I could do it both hands. Right. Okay, see you guys. Bye.
Bye.